Hello and welcome back to How to Write Winning Resumes by WritingBetterResumes.com. This is your video e-course lesson 11. Today we're going to talk about the 4 different resume formats and when to use them. Some of this stuff is going to sound like review because you've heard it in the other lessons, but we've never put it all together in one place. So let's get started. The first format is the chronological format. Relevant work experience is grouped by your position and date, and then you list your positions in reverse chronological order. So you would have a listing, you would have a section after your objective statement that says work experience, employment history, job history, something along those lines. And then you would start with your most recent position. You'd put the company name, your position title, the date you started, and either through current, or then if you have actually left that position, then you would list the end date. And then under that, you would list your responsibilities, accomplishments, contributions, etc. that went along with that position. And then you would go back to the job you held before this one. You would start with the company name, position title, so on and so forth. The best time to use this is when you have a solid work history in the field you're applying to. So if you've always been in IT and you're applying for another IT position and you've got 10 years of relevant work history that demonstrates a steady progression of skills and experience and mastery in IT, then this is the resume format for you. If you took 2 years off to travel Europe and then worked for a year and then worked for yourself for 2 years, this is not the resume format for you. But the functional resume format is. Now, the functional resume format, you're going to have your contact information, your objective statement, and then you're going to have a section called skills. And under that, you're going to have a skill. You might say, under IT skills, let's stick with the IT example. You are good at Linux systems administration. So you would list Linux system administration, and then beneath that, you would have relevant experience that you have in that field. So you might list the time that you set up a Linux server for such and such company, and then move on to an entirely different company, but still the same kind of work, where you did it for a second company, and then maybe a third company. The point being that you don't group your experience by company and date, you group it by skill set. And why would you want to do this? Well, let's say you did take a couple of years off for whatever reason, or you've worked for 10 companies in the last 5 years, and maybe there's a good reason for that. Maybe you're a contractor and you work 6-month contracts, so you change employers twice a year, and that's just how you roll. That's the way you do it. You've always done it. You pay your bills, and you do what you got to do. But rather than leaving that big maybe there's a good reason out there, you would want to list your experience by skill set so that they don't have any chance to rule you out because you've had too many jobs. Instead, they know that you've got relevant work experience, but they don't know how many jobs you've held. So it doesn't matter if you've had 15 jobs or 200, as long as your experience is relevant and you can really do what you said you can do. This is the best way to present yourself, rather than allowing them to rule you out early in the process. And it's possible that if you're a career changer, you may choose to use this resume, but only if you have gaps in your employment history. So that's the common ground that everyone that uses this functional format should have in common, is that they have gaps in their employment history. If you are a career changer and you have a solid work history, but it's in a different career than the one you want to move into, in that case, use the hybrid format or the chronological functional resume format. So your relevant experience is going to be just like it was in the functional format. You're going to group it by skill sets, and under those skill sets, you'll list your relevant work history, but you won't list where you got that history, where you were employed when you did those jobs. you're just going to list that experience under the skill set. But after your skills section, you are going to have a job history, employment history, or work history section, and that is where you're going to list your work history with it's going to be the same as the chronological format in that you're going to list it in reverse chronological order. But the key difference is that you're only going to put the company name, the position title, the start date, and the end date. And then boom, you're moving on to the next company. Company name, position title, start date, end date. Boom, you're moving on to the next company. You are not going to put relevant experience under those position titles because relevant experience is grouped under the skills category. So you use this when you are changing careers but have a solid job history in another career. Okay, and the final type of resume format is not even a resume really, but it's a curriculum vitae. I hate saying that word because I always feel like I'm mispronouncing it, but you know, according to Google, that's how you say it. Now this is typically used in the education field. It's longer than a traditional resume. It can be several pages long, whereas a traditional resume, you're going to keep it under 2 pages, preferably 1. And it's going to contain the stuff a regular resume would include, but it's also going to include a much more detailed profile of your education. So you might include, you know, graduate degree work in your CV. If you have publicly published works, if they're short enough, you might include them in there or include a summary of them. And it's just going to be much more extensive than the traditional resume. And it's primarily used in the education field. Other than that, you should only use it when it's requested. And even if you are working in the education field, they're going to ask you for a CV. If they say CV or curriculum vitae, then that's what you should submit. But if they're asking for a resume, make sure that you give them a 2-page or less resume in one of the 3 resume formats, the chronological, functional, or the hybrid format. Okay, that's lesson 11 in the How to Write Winning Resumes video e-course. I look forward to seeing you in video 12. Okay, if you enjoyed the video you just watched and you'd like to find others like it, I want you to go to www.writingbetterresumes.com/get-more.html. And what you're going to get when you sign up there, you're going to get the Job Search Action Guide, which is a step-by-step system for landing a job, your dream job, ASAP, fast. And it is a PDF with some embedded video lessons in it, and it will give you this system. You're also going to get the video e-course, How to Write Winning Resumes. It's going to contain 20 videos, just like the one you just watched, as well as also containing some written lessons on how to create a winning resume. And in addition to that, you're going to get a calendar gadget that's going to automatically schedule all your job search activities. So the bottom line is you're going to land more interviews and stand out with this system. It's going to force you to use sales techniques at each step in the hiring process to influence people in your favor. You're going to have step-by-step videos that show you how to set up an automated system using free tools so that you never miss an important step on the way to your new job. You're going to get a proven sales strategy that's at the heart of every good sales pitch. That's right there in the action guide itself. You will get answers to the most common resume writing questions in the e-course, and you're going to learn about all the different resume formats that are available to you, and just way too much for me to list here. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to go to writingbetterresumes.com/getmore.html, sign up, and all this stuff will be delivered directly to your inbox today. All right. See you soon.